Kashmir, a paradise of breathtaking beauty, rich culture, history, and warm hospitality. Kashmiri Pandits, scholars, cultural preservers, celebrated festivals, shared traditions, and contributions. Partition ignited tensions, leading to war. Kashmir's unresolved status sowed future conflict. Autonomy promises failed, unrest grew, rising separatism and religious extremism emerged. Violence surged, transforming Kashmir's landscape. Fear and mistrust replaced harmony and peace. Militancy rose from internal grievances. Government's heavy hand further alienated locals. Pandits faced targeted violence, intimidation, fear and paranoia gripped their community. January 1990, Pandits fled in terror. Exodus marked by chaos and trauma. Refugee camps in Jammu offered little. Displacement brought poverty and emotional scars. Displacement caused deep psychological trauma. Loss of homeland and identity was profound. Pandits felt alienated in Jammu, clung to hope of returning home. The weight of displacement pressed heavily upon the Pandit community. The loss of their homes, their livelihoods, and their way of life left them grappling with a profound sense of loss and dispossession. The familiar rhythms of their lives, once punctuated by festivals, weddings, and religious ceremonies, were disrupted, replaced by the monotonous routine of camp life. The economic hardship faced by many families was particularly acute. The breadwinners, stripped of their professions and businesses, found themselves reduced to seeking menial jobs, their skills and education rendered irrelevant in their new surroundings. The humiliation of depending on government handouts and the charity of others gnawed at their pride. The psychological toll of displacement manifested in various ways. The elderly, their world shrunk to the confines of the camps, battled feelings of helplessness and despair. The youth, their education disrupted and their futures uncertain, grappled with anger, frustration, and a sense of betrayal. The trauma of their uprooting threatened to define their lives, casting a long shadow over their aspirations. Amidst the despair, however, flickered the indomitable spirit of the Kashmiri Pandits. Their resilience, honed over centuries of navigating challenges and adapting to changing circumstances, sustained them through these dark times. They drew strength from their shared history, their cultural heritage, and their unwavering faith. Even in the face of adversity, the Kashmiri Pandits refused to be defined solely by their displacement. They channeled their grief and determination into rebuilding their lives. The camps transformed into spaces of resilience and community mobilization. Education became a priority, a beacon of hope for the younger generation. Makeshift schools sprouted within the camps, run by volunteer teachers. The pursuit of education was their ticket to a brighter future. The Pandit community also sought solace in their cultural traditions. Religious ceremonies now took place in makeshift structures within the camps. Music and dance provided an outlet for their emotions and hope. The women of the community played a pivotal role in sustaining the community spirit. They shouldered the responsibility of caring for their families and managing resources. Their strength and compassion became the bedrock of the community's resilience. The exodus from Kashmir was a tragedy, a dark chapter in the history of the Pandit community. Yet, even amidst the ruins of their shattered lives, a glimmer of hope persisted. The spirit of the Pandits, though tested, remained unbroken. Their determination to preserve their cultural identity, their unwavering faith, and their enduring hope for a return to their homeland sustained them through their years in exile. The exodus also had a profound impact on the Kashmiri Pandit diaspora. Scattered across India and the world, they carried with them the memories of their lost homeland, the pain of their displacement, and a deep longing for a return to their roots. The exodus fostered a sense of unity and solidarity among them, transcending geographical boundaries. In their new homes, they strived to keep their cultural traditions alive, organizing festivals, establishing temples, and passing on their language and heritage to their children. They also became vocal advocates for their community, raising awareness about their plight and demanding justice for the atrocities they had suffered. The exodus from Kashmir was a tragedy, but it also revealed the indomitable spirit of the Kashmiri Pandits. Their resilience, their determination, and their unwavering hope for a brighter future stand as a testament to the human capacity to overcome even the most formidable challenges. The exodus from Kashmir left an unhealing wound on the soul of the Kashmiri Pandit community. Decades passed, but the pain remained raw, a constant ache in their hearts. Temporary camps became semi-permanent reminders of their lost homeland. Time seemed to have little effect on their deep sense of loss. The elderly clung to memories, their tales a blend of nostalgia and heartache. The younger generation grew up with a profound sense of rootlessness. The trauma of displacement manifested in different ways. Some retreated into silence, their grief too deep for words. Others sought solace in religion, their faith a beacon of hope. Still, others channeled their pain into activism, demanding justice. The exodus became a defining characteristic, shaping their sense of self. A collective trauma passed down, a legacy of loss and longing. The exodus from Kashmir profoundly impacted the younger generation of Kashmiri Pandits, those born and raised in exile. They grew up with stories of a paradise lost, a place of beauty and cultural heritage. For them, Kashmir was a distant dream, a source of fascination and pain. They inherited a legacy of loss and longing, shaping their identity and worldview. They struggled to reconcile their parents' memories with their present realities, caught between a homeland they never knew and a diaspora that felt alienating. The exodus from Kashmir thrust the Kashmiri Pandit community into a struggle for identity. Uprooted from their homeland, stripped of their sense of belonging, they faced cultural and psychological dispossession, severing ties to their land and traditions. In exile, they preserved their identity through community centers, temples, and schools. The younger generation blended traditional art with contemporary themes, using music, literature, and theater to tell their stories. The exodus of Kashmiri Pandits in 1990 ripped a hole in the very fabric of Kashmiri society, leaving behind a void that time has yet to fill. The once vibrant tapestry of shared traditions, woven over centuries, was torn asunder, leaving both communities grappling with a profound sense of loss and estrangement. The idyllic image of a paradise on earth where Hindus and Muslims had coexisted for generations was shattered, replaced by a stark reality of division and mistrust. The exodus became a tragic symbol of this rupture, a constant reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring legacy of conflict. For the Kashmiri Muslims who remained, the exodus created a complex mix of emotions. While some sympathized with the plight of their Pandit neighbors, others viewed their departure through a different lens, colored by the escalating political climate and the rising tide of militancy. The void left by the Pandits was felt in various spheres of life, in the bustling marketplaces, where their shops now stood empty, in the hallowed halls of academia, where their intellectual contributions were sorely missed, and in the heart of Kashmiri culture itself, where their absence left an undeniable void. The exodus of Kashmiri Pandits became deeply entwined with the larger political narrative surrounding the Kashmir conflict. Both India and Pakistan sought to leverage the tragedy to bolster their respective positions, often at the expense of the community's suffering and their aspirations for justice and reconciliation. In India, the exodus was portrayed as a stark example of Islamic extremism, and a justification for a more assertive stance against Pakistan. The plight of the Pandits became a rallying cry for right-wing Hindu nationalist groups, who used it to fuel their agenda of Hindu supremacy and to further demonize the Kashmiri Muslim population. Pakistan, on the other hand, exploited the exodus to portray India as an oppressive state, incapable of protecting its minorities. They highlighted the plight of Kashmiri Pandits to deflect international criticism of their own role in supporting the insurgency and to garner sympathy for the separatist cause. Caught in the crossfire of this political maneuvering, the Kashmiri Pandits found their suffering exploited for political gain. Their voices, often drowned out by the cacophony of competing narratives, struggled to be heard. Their demands for justice, for recognition of their pain, and for a safe and dignified return to their homeland were often sidelined in the pursuit of larger political objectives. Despite the deep wounds of the past and the enduring legacy of pain and mistrust, the quest for reconciliation between Kashmiri Pandits and Muslims remains a flickering ember, a beacon of hope in the darkness. While the road ahead is fraught with challenges, the yearning for a shared future where both communities can once again coexist in peace and harmony persists. Dialogue, often fraught with emotion and punctuated by silences that speak volumes, has emerged as a crucial step towards healing. Small groups of Kashmiri Pandits and Muslims have begun to engage in conversations, sharing their stories, acknowledging their pain, and seeking common ground. These dialogues, while fragile, represent a glimmer of hope. They provide a platform for expressing long-suppressed emotions, for challenging stereotypes, and for fostering empathy and understanding. They offer a glimpse of a future where the walls of division can crumble, replaced by bridges of compassion and shared humanity. Reconciliation, however, is not a passive process. It requires a conscious effort from both sides to confront the painful truths of the past, to acknowledge each other's suffering, and to work towards a shared future based on mutual respect, justice, and equality. The exodus of Kashmiri Pandits stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. A community uprooted, thrust into prolonged exile, their pain remains etched in their hearts. The camps, meant to be temporary, became symbols of an uncertain future. Despite immense challenges, they displayed remarkable resilience. Rebuilding their lives, they kept cultural traditions alive. Yet the question of their return remains complex and emotional. The exodus of Kashmiri Pandits continues to reverberate within the community and beyond. It has left an enduring legacy of trauma, loss, and a profound sense of displacement that transcends generations. The elderly struggle to reconcile their idyllic visions of a shared past with the harsh realities of the present. For the younger generation, the exodus is a historical inheritance, shaping their identities and understanding of the world. They grapple with a longing for a homeland they have never known and a sense of injustice. The exodus has profoundly impacted Kashmir's social and political landscape. It created a void in the valley's cultural fabric, silencing voices that once contributed to its rich tapestry. The absence of Kashmiri Pandits is a haunting echo of what was lost. The exodus is deeply intertwined with the larger political discourse surrounding the Kashmir conflict. It has been used by both India and Pakistan to bolster their positions, often at the expense of the community's suffering. The path towards a shared future for Kashmiri Pandits and Muslims is fraught with challenges. It requires confronting painful truths, acknowledging suffering, and engaging in healing. Dialogue remains the most viable path forward. It offers a platform for sharing stories and fostering empathy. Reconciliation requires concrete actions promoting justice and equality. The road ahead is long, but a shared future is worth striving for. It requires a commitment to justice and a belief in a brighter future.